Welcome back to another clay video. Today, we are going to create Mario Circuit 1 from Super Mario Kart. Let's begin with this paper printout, and this is a really great tool to make sure that everything is cut to be the right size and placed into the right positions. Without this, I don't think I would have been able to create most of the maps that I did. We need to separate the different road and dirt pieces. When looking at the base, I was trying to figure out what would be easiest to create first, and I think it would be the road. It would be sort of easier to put the dirt around the road rather than to cut into the dirt and add the road in later. I flattened the clay down using the rolling pin, and now we can use this paper cutout as a stencil to make sure that our road is perfectly shaped to the map. After removing the excess clay, we're ready to start creating the dirt. And at first, I used this paper to make sure that the dirt was the right size, but after that, I realized I could just take some big chunks, put them on there, and trim it down later. I would really love to create some more Mario Kart tracks, and the only reason I haven't is because they can be so daunting with how detailed they are. For example, Coconut Mall is my favorite Mario Kart track through all of the games. But since most of the track takes place indoors, it's not really possible to make with clay. And I find this problem with most of the maps that I like. There's too many indoor aspects or just too much detail. So as cool as it would be to see Coconut Mall, I don't really think it's very possible. I realized after creating this map though, there's a lot of the classic tracks that they put into the newer games, and those have a lot less detail, but they still look really nice. So I think the older games will be a really good option for creating some more tracks. Using the stencil to create the grass, it mostly fit in here perfectly, I just had to smooth it out a little bit. And for these pieces, I had to trim them up a little bit. These are going to be the stripes that we see on the track. These are in two different places. They're at the starting line, but also halfway around the track. And I tried to get these as flat as I could. I know they still stand up a little bit, but after we hit it with the rolling pin, I think that it looks pretty flat. I decided to go a little bit thinner with the stripes on the other side, and I think it looks a lot better. We have this white clay to outline the entire track. And for any parts that got a little bit messy or wavy, I just used the dentist pick to smooth them out a little bit. This map has this colorful wall going around all the different areas of the map, separating the grass and the dirt. So we have to create that with so many little cubes. These are always in sections of 4, and they alternate between red, blue, yellow, and green. So this is how I'm creating the different sections. Hundreds and hundreds of cubes later, we are finally ready to outline the entire map. This whole process took about 2 hours, and it was kind of annoying because I didn't know how many I needed, so I had to keep going back and making more. Around the corners is a little bit tricky. We have to cut them in half. Let's move on to these little panels on the ground. We see these on the turns, and I feel like this is some type of warning to let you know there's a turn coming. Over here with these tiny little worms of white clay, we'll create these little starting brackets. This is where all the carts line up before the race starts. Let's add in all of the white stripes onto these panels. The reason why I didn't do this at first is because I was going to paint them on, but I started to think that painting wouldn't have looked as good as clay, so I'm just gonna go with the clay. Now we have our first obstacle on the course. Well, I guess it's really the only obstacle. We have the warp pipes. This will be the top of the warp pipe. We need to hollow out the center part here and fill it in with some black. Now let's place these onto the top, which can be a little bit difficult because they're so tiny. Now let's take all of these warp pipes and place them all over the map. I'm also using a picture of the map to make sure that these are all in the right places. Let's create the item blocks. For these, I'm going to actually bake these little squares for 5 minutes. After the 5 minutes of baking, they're hard enough that we can paint onto them. So I'm using this paint marker to create the question marks. This could be done with clay, but I think it just would have been too challenging and would have taken forever. So I'm really glad I have this paint marker. And those are complete, so let's put those onto the map. Using this worm of yellow clay, we'll create all of the coins for the map. And I flattened them down on the table to get them to be a little bit more round. Let's place those all over the map, and again, I'm using a picture of the map to make sure that everything's in the right place, but I'm also leaving some of them out so that it looks like somebody collected some coins. Moving on to creating the carts, which I would say is definitely the most detailed part of the map. We have this tiny little piece in the front that will hold on the steering wheel, and these tiny little pieces of clay are going to be the wheels, and we have a slightly bigger one for the steering wheel. So here is our tiny little cart, and I've also created a couple different colors of these to add a little bit of variety. I wish you could see just how tiny these carts really are. I feel like the video makes things look a lot bigger than they actually are. So just imagine you had a Tic Tac on the end of your finger. Now a little bit smaller than that is the size of a Mario Kart vehicle with the character inside of it. It's pretty crazy to think about. In the world of Mario Kart, we have so many different characters, especially in the newest game. So many that it's pretty hard to even spend much time playing as every single character. You kind of just pick your favorites and play as those. But luckily, we don't have to choose from very many options because Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo only has 8 different characters. And I've only created 5 carts. So the 3 characters I'm eliminating is Bowser, Donkey Kong Jr., and Peach. After the vehicles are done, we can move on to one final detail, the items, which somehow I didn't think about until I was just about to put it into the oven. So we have a banana peel, which is very iconic, and we also will create a green and red shell. Let's take the items and the carts and place them onto the map. And finally, we are ready to get baked. After baking, there's nothing else we have to do, so here it is, Mario Circuit 1 from Super Mario Kart. I hope you all enjoyed the creation of this Mario Kart track. If you want to see some more maps from Mario Kart, let me know in the comments what some of your favorites are, and we'll see if we can create some more tracks. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.